Hi. During this period of pandemic isolation, I've probably been a little less isolated than I normally would be, painting by myself in a studio. With the kids home from school, I've spent less time in here and more time outside on the property that we live on outside of Brisbane. Today, our horses are getting new shoes put on. So my daughter Olympia got a horse last year, this grey horse, and I got myself a horse in October last year. So we're kind of new to it, but it was the thing that I grew up doing. It was my passion when I was really young. So I'm excited to have a horse again. So about every 6 weeks, the horses need new shoes, and the old shoes come off and their hooves get filed back, a bit like fingernails, they grow out, and the new shoes go on the horse. But these horses are being hot shod, which means that the steel shoes are heated up in a little furnace in a way that blacksmiths have done for centuries, and then you can mold the shoe a bit better, and you put the sizzling steel on the horse's hoof, and it melts the hoof a little bit, and so that the shoe and the hoof kind of fit each other a little bit better, and it seals the hoof for a better fit. Anyway, Olympia's horse, this grey horse, his name is Bono, he's getting special new shoes today because he has a bit of arthritis, and we're hoping that these new shoes are going to help him take some pressure off his joints a little bit. This horse reminds me so much of a horse that I had growing up. She was probably my best horse, and I got her when I was 9 years old, and she was only 4. So it was the first time that I ever trained a horse, and we were a really great team, and we won lots of things, and we were chosen for state teams and all sorts of things. But she was probably my best horse that I had, and he reminds me so much of this mare. But I'm telling you all this because the painting of mine that's in Lismore collection is kind of connected to all of this. So I made that painting in 2005, and I was sitting there watching the television and not making any painting, but it had come after a period where I'd had some success with a few bodies of work, and I was thinking a lot about the kind of artist I wanted to be, and the kind of art that I think is interesting to me, and whether good art necessarily comes from a critical academic starting point, or whether it could be something more intuitive or serendipitous. And so I was taking photographs from the television, from different things that I was watching. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. And there's this great scene in it where Gandalf the wizard, he calls this horse, and he just whistles to it, and out of the forest comes this incredibly beautiful horse. And it's this beautifully shot scene. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this is such a gorgeous horse. And the 12-year-old girl in me is just thinking, God, I wish I could just whistle and a horse would just come out of the forest and take me away. And anyway, I pick up the camera and I'm shooting this thing, and the flash of the SLR at the time that I had would have still been a film camera. It was bouncing off the lens of the screen of the television, and so I was getting this lens flare. And I thought, if I keep shooting this, I could maybe get that lens bounce to sort of sit right on the horse's head, so it looks like this light was coming out of this horse's head, like a unicorn or something beautiful and strange and kind of uncanny. Anyway, so I kept mucking around with it, and sure enough, I did get this shot of this horse with this light sort of emanating out of it. And I set about painting it, and it was such a grainy image, and up close it looked abstract. If you look at the grass tussocks and everything that's in it, it's painted from this grainy film still that I made, but painted with careful photoreal kind of detail. And so it was this strange surface. But I called it Asimi, which was the name of this beautiful grey mare that I had. And Asimi means silver in Greek. My dad named this horse. And it was just one of those amazing moments where I'm watching this thing back in 2005, and I'm thinking about this horse that I had, and thinking about the boy that I was reading Tolkien, these massive novels, and my obsession with the fantasy world. And that painting became probably one of the most personal and autobiographical works that I've ever made. And it's something that I often think about. You know, life just sort of keeps coming back to you, and it's happening again at this point. Yeah.